Hi everyone, welcome to our channel, Rebecca, Stu, and the Crew. I'm Rebecca, and today we have a really fun holiday craft for y'all to do, as well as a review video for a new product we found at Dollar Tree. So let's go over the supplies for our first few crafts that we're going to do today. We're going to make a bunch of different ornaments. We'll need those clear plastic ornaments from Dollar Tree, a dowel rod, some ribbons, scissors, and some dog nail clippers or wire cutters. We're also going to be using a razor blade, some hot glue, and a little bit of the brush on clear nail glue. We're also going to use some flowers and some fake snow. We'll be using one of these little snowman ornaments from Dollar Tree and the clay ornaments that they sell. Also, these little ornament tags for the mini trees and some embellishments. I'm going to use these little lights I found at Hobby Lobby. So let's get crafty. The first thing we're going to do is just unscrew the top. And now we're going to choose which flowers we're going to use. I have these mini roses, which I'm going to use in one of them. And then I'm also going to use these little like cherry blossom flowers that they have. So the steps will be the same for both of the ornaments that we're going to make here with the flowers in them. So we're just going to cut the wire down. These dog nail clippers work really well to cut the flowers down to size. And then we're going to take that wire stem and we're going to start to wrap it in a diagonal around the dowel rod. This is going to shorten up the wire so it will fit down in the ornament. It also makes it more decorative so it looks like the flowers are growing up from the fake snow once we add that to the ornament. So these ornaments that we're making today are very easy. It doesn't take a lot of time to make a few. So now that we have it all twisted up there, we're just going to squish the flowers up a little bit and start pushing them down into the ornament. And then once you have it down in there, you can take your finger or your dowel rod and you can kind of move the flowers around and help the petals to open back up. That way they don't look all smashed and they look like they're sitting in there like they're supposed to be. Now that the flowers are inside, we're going to just make a paper funnel using some paper and tape, just rolling a cone. And then we're going to sprinkle in some of the fake glass beads Dollar Tree sells as faux snow, or you can use the tinsel snow that they sell in the bag. And just keep checking. You're going to add a little bit at a time. You don't want to add too much. You just want to fill that bottom portion of the ornament to fill in the little nub at the bottom. And once you've got that filled in, for the most part, you'll go just a little bit above that peak, and then that should be enough. Once you have the desired amount of snow inside, you're just going to replace the lid. And now we're going to decorate the outside just by adding a bow. It's really simple. We just added a tiny little bow and add that with some hot glue. So these are the two with the flowers in them. Now for our second ornament, we are going to use one of the kind of like M&M shaped ornaments and our razor blade. That's what we're going. And then we're also going to use one of those little clay ornaments. So I'm going to use the gnome. Okay. I'm measuring to see about how tall it needs to be because I am going to have to trim him down a little bit to make him fit. So I just lay him right on top of the ornament and then I kind of mark with my X-Acto knife where I'm going to need to cut at. Then I'm just going to take the knife and start scoring the top and slowly work my way through the top of the hat here. I don't want it to look really messy or jagged, so I really want to take my time and work my way through the ornament. Some of the clay ornaments are a little bit easier to cut through than others. I think it just depends on how well the hardening process went when they cured the clay. So you can cut them down with scissors if you like, or you can just go all the way through with the razor blade. It's really personal choice. So once I've removed the top of the hat, I don't like really the shape of it, so I'm going to take my razor blade and just kind of angle it a little bit more to make more of a point at the top of the hat and to narrow a little portion of it. Then I just keep working with the knife and just shaping the hat. And you can do this part or you don't have to. It's really up to you. Now the red looked a little bit different once I trimmed the hat, so I did color the top with a dark red Sharpie marker to cover up the difference in color. Then I took a really small pom-pom and I added that to the top of the hat to kind of disguise where I had trimmed the hat at. And as you can see, I just took a Dollar Tree permanent marker and I colored in the top edge of the hat where we had trimmed it. Let it dry for a few minutes before you try adding it to the ornament. So now we're going to remove the top off the ornament, and then right on the seam, we're going to take our X-Acto knife and we're going to very slowly work our way through the ornament just by continuously dragging the razor blade over the seam. Now, I know they sell ornaments at other stores where you have two pieces that you can just pop together, but I really love to make these ornaments where you are able to put something in the ornament from the side and then disguise the line that you cut. And it's really fun because nobody can really figure out how you've got the larger piece inside the ornament because they don't come apart. So now you're just going to squeeze and open it like those old-fashioned coin purses that you will squeeze and it opens up the top there. And then we're just going to slowly work the gnome inside of the ornament. And take your time, it's no rush. You just want to slowly work them in there so you're not going to do any damage to the clay ornament. And once you've got them in there, you let go and it seals up the side. You really can't even see it, but we are going to add some fake snow to this, so I'm going to seal the edge. So usually I would just leave the edge alone because it's really not very noticeable, but I'm going to take some Dollar Tree nail glue and I'm just going to brush it along this edge here and then hold the ornament together while it dries. And as you can see, I used my finger to kind of clean up the edge there because I didn't want any excess glue coming out the side. You really just need a tiny bit to seal up the line. And you really can't notice it. I mean, the seams are there already. So unless you're really looking for a seam or a cut, you're not going to see it. So I added a little bit more glue just to make sure it stays together at the top. And then taking that paper funnel again, we're going to add some more of the fake snow. They're those little glass beads they sell in white and blue. And then I'm going to drop in these little embellishments. Again, I picked these up, I think for 90% off last year at Hobby Lobby. Then we'll replace our topper. And then it looked a little bit plain to me, so I wanted to decorate the outside. So I have these miniature tags. They're ornaments that I got from the Dollar Tree. They're for the miniature trees that they sell. And I just replaced the original tag with a new ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and just use this red satin ribbon and we'll just tie this around the top of the ornament. And then we'll tie a knot, just a double knot, and then I just trimmed the excess ribbon. That was just a little bit too long on the sides. And then you can position the little tag that says Merry Christmas over to the side. If it won't stay in place and keeps wanting to cover up your gnome or whichever ornament you used inside, just go ahead and add a little dot of hot glue or a glue dot to hold the tags out of the way so it doesn't cover up the ornament. And I'm just going to trim those ribbons off here. And then we'll replace the topper with either a ribbon or a hook. And here he is on our Christmas tree. And now for our third project here, we're going to use the snowman to make a melted snowman ornament. So these are just a traditional round ornaments. I'm going to take an old towel and I'm just going to cut the trim off. And I'm going to use this as the trim for the hat. So I removed the hat, the arms, the scarf, the eyes, and the nose from the snowman. And then I'm just going to replace around the hat here, that little white bit of material to make it look like the brim of the hat has that white fur around the bottom. And it's okay if you glue the hat shut during this process. It's really not necessary to have it open. They're just going to be placed in the ornament. And we just work our way all the way around the hat. Just keep adding hot glue until you have the whole thing filled in at the bottom. And you can cut the excess off if you want. I just kept wrapping it around till it was finished. Then I took another little pom-pom and I added that to the top. Just dress up the hat a little bit. It helps it to stand out as well. Then we're going to take that little nose. It's got this end on it that they use to stick into the foam. We're going to trim that off with the dog nail clippers. You could also just use scissors. We'll do the same with the eyes. We're going to peel off that excess foam that was kind of glued to the little pieces here, and we'll cut the stems off of the back and try to get rid of as much of the foam as you can. So we'll do that with both eyes, and then we'll trim down the sticks that they used as the arms. So now for the scarf that we pulled off of the snowman, we're just going to fix the way it looks. I kind of made it in a loop and then tied a little knot in it. Then I added a little dot of hot glue to the edge, and then I trim up where the glue was attached to the original snowman and just try to fix this so it would look like a scarf that had once been around the neck of a snowman. I filled the ornament with some fake snow, and then we add the hat. We adjust that with the dowel rod. Then next we'll add the scarf. And again, you'll want to fix it and adjust it so it looks like it's laying out in the snow, kind of flat. We add the carrot nose with a little dot of hot glue, and we'll do the same with the eyes just so they stay on top and don't end up getting lost down in the snow, and then you won't be able to see them. So we did the same with the nose, and as you can see, we're using some tweezers to help get the pieces in place. So we'll do the same with the little sticks for the arms. And they don't have to really fall anywhere in particular. You just want to separate them so you can see all of the pieces. And so now we have our melted snowman with all of his little pieces there, and we'll replace the topper. And then just add a bow or a decorative string or something to the top, really anything you like. Some snowflakes would be cute as well. And you can hang him from the tree as well. So that was really easy. Now for our review video this week, we're going to review this Vasta product that they've had out at Dollar Tree for just $1.25. And we'll see how it works. We're going to try a green and yellow zucchini, also some potatoes and apples. So there are two attachments that come with the Vasta slicer. You get the instruction manual, and then you've got all the parts listed on the first page. It's got two boxes and then this package wrapped in plastic. I have it all open here. So it says you can do sliced veggie noodles or spin veggie sheets. So there's got these little riser feet on the bottom. I didn't actually use those. I didn't find it necessary. So this is the front. It's got a blade guard on the front of it. It's a piece of plastic. You'll remove that, and then there's a sticker over the blade that you'll want to pull off. And of course, you'll want to wash all of your pieces before you begin using any food products with this. So now we're just going to pull out the skewer. It slides right out from the side. Take our blade and we're going to lift up until it clicks into place. With that little red dot there, it just kind of pops up on its own. Lay your vegetable in front of your slicer and then cut it to size. Now we're going to turn it on its side, and you'll place your vegetable in the middle, and then you'll take your skewer and you're going to push that down through the center of your vegetable, and it'll go all the way down until it locks into place and that red button is laying flat. Now we'll take the blade and we'll lower it, and you'll remove the guard. And we've got this little guy here, it just goes in the side and it holds the vegetable at the bottom, and that's actually what spins it. So now just holding it with your hand, you can spin, and it's sliced off the skin really easy on the zucchini. And then it's not one continuous sheet. It does start to break off, but it's not a perfectly round vegetable. So I think that's why it wanted to break off. And it didn't go too far into the center. I was a little bit disappointed about that, but only the zucchini seemed to do that. And now we've got our sheets. I think that the sheets are okay. They're a little bit small, but again, it's a small zucchini. And you could use these in replacement of noodles if you're making like a lasagna or something. You would just layer them. Now for the noodle attachment, it's a little hard to place on. The directions aren't quite clear, but we'll cut our zucchini down to size. This is our yellow squash. This one was a little bit short. And so we just want to position that in the middle and push that skewer down through the center. And then you really need it down to the end because this little piece here has to be in the bottom of the vegetable, so it will turn it. Again, you'll lower your blade and then start turning it. And it went through the skin quite nicely, and you can see the strips. This one was a little bit more of a continuous piece. It didn't really break into pieces like the green one did, but it doesn't go all the way through. You do have to pull the noodles apart with your hands. You could do it with a knife. It would be kind of quick. You really don't have to push hard. So you do get some smaller pieces. If you cut through it with a knife, then you'll have the longer pieces. But all in all, I think it worked pretty good with the yellow squash as well. We've got some long pieces here. So for the zucchini and the yellow squash, love it. Thumbs up for both of those. Now let's try an apple. So this is just a gala apple, and you load it the same way as we did the squash. This is the slicer sheet. It's doing a really good job doing a continuous slice. We did have one little break there, and it went all the way down to the core. So I was pretty impressed with that. It started to come off of the bottom, so I just pushed on the apple and pushed it back down on the end there, and I was able to keep turning it. So if it starts to feel like it's not turning, you might just need to adjust the piece of fruit or vegetable. And as you can see, I can take that apple and I can roll it back up and make like a apple flower. So I've got some pretty long pieces here. It went through the skin quite easy. And we went pretty far down into the core, which I liked. There was very little waste. So here's what it looks like. Kind of wound back up. My daughter wanted to make something with the apple, so we ended up putting it on a little sheet. Here for the toaster oven, she put a little teaspoon of butter in the center, and then she sprinkled it with some of the Dollar Tree cinnamon sugar. We probably should have just used this cinnamon. The sugar burned a little bit, but you just want to coat the apple, and then we place it in the toaster oven for about 20 minutes on 350 degrees. Once it came out, she put it in a little dish with some ice cream and some caramel syrup. So now we're going to do the noodle function with the apple. You get some pretty good pieces. I will say that it broke up a lot more than the zucchini did or the squash. And you can kind of remedy that just by slicing through it with your knife, and then you'll get some nice straight pieces. If you try to pull it apart, though, it just breaks apart, and then you've just got a bunch of, pretty much a mess. But this would be nice if you were doing, a little dessert or just some apple snacks or something for the kids. So I think they worked for the sheets, but the strips, not so much. You do have to separate them with the knife. So now for the potato. So again, you load it the same way. We're going to do the sheet first. It peeled off the skin quite easily. At first, I started to have a little bit of trouble getting it to spin in a couple spots. It wasn't the softest potato. Obviously, it's a potato. I had to adjust it on the end there. It wanted to slip off. But once I got it kind of started and a little bit more evened out, I was able to start getting some nice sheets of potatoes. And they sliced about the same size as the squash did. So you're not going to get this long continuous sheet. At least I couldn't. I've tried several times. This is just a video of like the best one that I got from the get-go. But it just seems like as you turn it, when you stop, that's kind of where the break happens. So I'm guessing it's just because you can't continuously turn it. But it went all the way through the potato. It had a very tiny little bit left on the skewer that you put down through the center. So really no waste at all. And again, you could layer these in like a casserole dish, make like scalloped potatoes or something out of it, and they're sliced nice and thin. And I think that would work quite well for some recipes. Now we're going to do the noodles. I was thinking kind of like shoestring potatoes, and this was pretty much a mess. I could not get it to go through. I even peeled the potato first because the skin seemed to be the hardest part to get through. So I thought, well, I'll peel it. Maybe that'll help it to go through a little bit easier. And as you can see, it just continuously breaks apart. And I've got all these little pieces, and it really is just a mess. That first part there was the largest part I got, and I tried about 3 times. So the potato sheets worked really well. The noodles fell apart, so it did not work. So thumbs up for the sheet, thumbs down for the noodle part for the potatoes. So was it worth $1.25? I would say yes, it worked fairly well. I would use this again. It would not be great if you needed to do a large batch of something for like a big meal with a lot of people, because it's quite time consuming to keep reloading it. So here's what we made today. Other than the review video, we did all of these little ornaments. Super easy craft DIY this week. I'm always looking for different ideas to use all those cute DIY ornaments from Dollar Tree. So I hope you guys like these ideas that I came up with. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And here are some other videos from our channel you might also enjoy. Have a great day, everyone.